Okay, so I talk a lot about what's happening with drones and that sort of thing. And I want to show you a number of ways that drones are being used, but I want to frame it by showing you this first. So, how close are we to the end of the world? The Doomsday Clock, set by scientists in 1947, gives an estimate every year. In 2024, it was just 90 seconds to midnight, the closest ever. Will we move even closer this year? And so, what's she talking about with the Doomsday Clock? Let her speak.
How much time do we have until doomsday? In 2024, it was 90 seconds, according to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. Each year, the bulletin publishes a forecast on how far we are from midnight, which represents doomsday. In other words, the end of the world. The point is to show how close humanity is to self-destruction through its own dangerous technologies. These include nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, ongoing wars, biothreats, and the climate crisis.
Okay, and so most of those are like technological, like AI, or they didn't mention drones, but things like that that are moving us rapidly toward being able to destroy each other. Let her finish and then we'll go back to drones.
For example, in 1963, during the Cold War, we were quite far. 12 minutes to midnight. In 1991, the clock went back to 17 minutes to midnight.
In 2023, it was only 90 seconds to midnight.
Contributing to this were Russia's war on Ukraine and the Israel-Hamas war. It's meant to act as both a metaphor and a wake-up call to the threats we need to confront in order to survive on this planet. Every January, the scientists reset the clock. Do you think this year the Doomsday Clock will move even closer to midnight?
Yeah, so and that's really interesting. So you think about the battlefield technology that we've seen, and things have been very impressive, but it's also become more destructive or accelerated the ability to destroy things. Like these drones are pretty spectacular in what they are able to do to each other on the battlefield, and now we see these drones actually attacking other drones, and so that's a pretty significant innovation and step forward. We see things like this, and it doesn't even have to be that complex. This is how Russians put anti-tank mines on their drones. Like they're they're putting like duct taping stuff into it and just ramming it into it. So they're figuring out how to use these devices in a more and more destructive way. This was fascinating to me. Now, this is a Russian infantryman, and this is one of the few places where I've seen a drone actually destroyed by somebody who's being attacked by a drone, because he's actually using his rifle as a baseball bat rather than as a rifle, because shooting at a drone doesn't tend to work out very well. I mean, they can do it, but this was actually like, and one of the things that he did here was he charged at it. Like in martial arts, they teach you things like you run from a knife and you run toward a gun. Right? Why? Because the gun can still shoot at you if you run away from it. So you have to move. One of the basic infantry tactics that they teach you in the first couple of years in Army ROTC, like if you're ambushed, you turn toward the ambush and you run headlong toward it, shooting everything that you can in that process. That's your greatest chance of survival, which might not be the greatest chance, but it's a greatest chance of survival. Then I saw this, the First War of Machines. Now this is a simulation. Okay, it's just a simulation. The First War of Machines, a video battle between a drone and a robot dog, goes virtual in China. Now, they're not actually shooting anything except for fireworks, but the firefight was conducted using these fireworks. It's unclear whether the devices were being controlled by someone, and the location of the footage remains undisclosed. But look at this. What kind of crazy world is that going to be? Okay, so how far are we now? Again, these are just fireworks to simulate what that would look like, but what kind of world are we going to be looking at when this is what's happening regularly on the battlefield? Okay, and then there's positive uses as well as extreme uses. So here's one of the extreme uses. The Eagle APDS is the world's first high-altitude balloon launch drone. High-altitude balloon launch drone. So Landing Zones Canada Incorporated has announced the completion of the Eagle Advanced Payload Delivery System, a drone designed for efficient and reliable delivery of payloads. But yeah, it can be way, way, way up there. And then there's positive uses like Amazon, right? Amazon is planning to launch drone deliveries in the UK as part of a trial. There's also going to be drone deliveries in the United States around certain Amazon hubs where they'll have drones drop it off at your house. That's going to be fascinating. And then there's kind of fun uses, like mesmerizing drone show to light up the sky over Birmingham Food Village for one night. These are coordinated drones, but if they can coordinate and swarm like that for this happy fella on the screen here, they can coordinate for all kinds of bad things as well. All right, I'm just fascinated by drones. I thought that this would add some value to your understanding of where we're going technologically, and I hope that helps you have some extra context about where technology is going. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes and the shares and the subscribes, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.